When a lion stays silent, it's not because he's weak, it's because he's calculating exactly where to strike. Now pause. What you're about to uncover isn't about your average man who lashes out when triggered. This is about the Sigma male, the kind of man who hears your insult, gives a subtle smirk, and lets your ego unravel in the weight of his silence. Here's a psychological truth: the most mentally formidable individuals are the ones who feel absolutely nothing when provoked. No anger, no offense, just pure observation. So when you insult a Sigma male, you're not lighting a fire, you're unknowingly stepping into a chess match where he's already 6 moves ahead. He won't raise his voice. He won't argue. He'll simply respond in ways that make you wish you'd never even spoken his name. And if you believe his silence means he didn't catch what you said, that's adorable. Welcome to 12 Things a Sigma Male Does When Insulted, and believe me, it's not the reaction you expect. It's the one that quietly dismantles your confidence from the shadows. Let's begin. Number 1. He measures your insult by your relevance. When someone hurls an insult at a Sigma male, his instinct isn't to get emotional, it's to assess who it came from. He doesn't treat all opinions equally, because he doesn't value all people equally. Your words only carry weight if you carry weight in his world, and let's be honest, most people don't. If you're irrelevant, just background noise in the soundtrack of his life, your insult registers like a fly buzzing past his ear, maybe mildly irritating, but not even worth swatting. He won't waste an ounce of energy validating someone whose opinion holds zero currency in his mental economy. In fact, your attempt to insult him only confirms one thing: that you never mattered to begin with. He walks past your words the same way he walks past empty gossip or cheap drama. They don't stick, because you don't. But if you do matter, if you hold power, emotional proximity, or influence, the game shifts. He still won't react outwardly. No yelling. No defensiveness. But now, he's watching. He's dissecting your timing, your tone, and the psychological motive behind your jab. To the Sigma, your insult becomes intel, a window into your insecurities, your agenda, and the fracture in your connection. He stores that data not out of pain, but calculation. He's now evaluating the integrity of the dynamic between you. And based on what he sees, he'll either correct the imbalance or cut the cord entirely. What makes this both brilliant and terrifying? No matter which path he chooses, he wins. If you're insignificant, you just exposed yourself and got silently dismissed. If you're significant, you just gave away your position, and he now has the upper hand. That's the Sigma advantage. He doesn't react emotionally, he reacts tactically. Your insult becomes a mirror, reflecting your value back at you. And here's the spoiler: for most people, that reflection doesn't look good. Number 2, he upgrades his filters, and you just got deleted. When a Sigma male is insulted, something subtle yet powerful happens, not just emotionally, but neurologically. He doesn't defend himself. He doesn't clap back. He rewrites his internal code, and you get silently cut from the system. It's not revenge. It's not immaturity. It's evolution. Your behavior signals one thing: you no longer qualify for access. Most people filter others based on emotion or social obligation. Sigma males filter based on patterns, subtle shifts in tone, passive-aggressive digs, fake smiles laced with disrespect. That's all it takes. His mind detects the glitch, and once it's seen, you're removed like outdated software. No need for confrontation. No drama. Just distance. Longer response times. Cooler energy. Fewer opportunities to engage. And here's the genius: it feels like nothing is happening. But everything is. That's the terrifying part. To him, you're not a threat. You're not even a problem. You're just a correction, a system update. While others chase closure, he seeks clarity. Your insult tells him something crucial. You were never meant to be close. So, the door doesn't slam, it shuts silently, and permanently. You don't just get ignored. You get erased. Strategically. Surgically. Without warning, and without the chance to explain yourself. By the time you realize you've been cut off, he's already upgraded into a new version of himself, one where your existence no longer registers. And the coldest truth of all? He's grateful you revealed yourself. Because in his world, every insult is just one more reason to evolve. And you were the spark that triggered his next level. Number 3, he uses the insult as a trigger to audit his inner circle. When a Sigma male gets insulted, he doesn't just examine the insult, he traces how it even got that close. That moment doesn't trigger outrage. It triggers something far more dangerous: a system audit. To the Sigma, an insult isn't just disrespect, it's a breach of access. It means someone got too close, someone who never should have been there in the first place. And that's not just a social misstep, that's a flaw in his perimeter. Sigma males are fiercely selective about who enters their psychological space. Their inner circle isn't wide, it's tight, intentional, and constantly evaluated. So when someone crosses a line, the Sigma doesn't just react to what was said, he questions how that person got past his filters in the first place. He begins scanning the system. Who slipped through? Who allowed this energy in? What blind spot did I miss? And just like that, he enters cleanup mode, quietly, surgically. People get reevaluated. Conversations are mentally replayed. Trust levels get recalibrated, or downgraded. He doesn't cause a scene. He just starts watching everyone. Who laughed a little too hard at that insult? Who stood silent when they should have stepped in? Who's been orbiting his space without bringing real value? It becomes a moment of silent reckoning. Your insult didn't just cost you, it put everyone around him under review. Not just for what they did, but for what they allowed. From that moment forward, his standards rise. His boundaries tighten. And those who once had casual access suddenly feel the distance, fewer conversations, colder energy, missed opportunities. That's not accidental. That's the Sigma cleaning house. No confrontation. No theatrics. He simply upgrades his filters, and lets gravity do the rest. The ones who no longer qualify, fall away naturally. What most people don't realize is this. Your insult didn't just affect you. It triggered a full system's recalibration. And once a Sigma spots the breach, he'll seal it permanently, and ensure it never happens again. Number 4, he watches your reaction to his non-reaction. When you insult a Sigma male and he doesn't react, most people assume nothing happened. But that silence isn't empty, it's a mirror. And while you're waiting for him to defend himself, lash out, or explode, he's already turned the tables. He's watching you. You see, Sigma males understand something most people don't. Silence reveals more than confrontation ever could. The moment you insult him and get no response, something starts unraveling, not in him, but in you. Insecure people can't stand silence. They need validation. They need emotional feedback. They need to know they struck a nerve. But when a Sigma offers none of that, no flinch, no words, no reaction, it creates psychological pressure. And that pressure exposes everything. Do you double down, thinking your insult wasn't strong enough? Do you retreat and play it off as a joke? Do you start nervously over-explaining, trying to undo what you just did? Every tick, every pause, every fidget becomes data. While you're scanning his face for signs of offense, he's already profiling you, decoding your motives, your weakness, your insecurity. Your panic is the confession. Your silence is the slip-up. He doesn't need to ask questions, you answer them all through your behavior. Why doesn't he defend his ego? Because it doesn't need defending. His strength isn't loud. It's unshakable. And when your insult bounces off him and echoes back into the room, you become the one under judgment. Not publicly. Not theatrically. But internally, where it stings the most. Because here's the brutal truth. By doing absolutely nothing, the Sigma male flips the entire power dynamic. You came in swinging, hoping to dominate. Now you're the one unraveling under the weight of his stillness. He knows something most men never learn. Silence isn't weakness, it's psychological control. And watching you squirm under it tells him everything he needs to know. He didn't react, because he didn't need to. You gave him all the intel, with your panic. Number 5, he turns your insult into a mirror. When you try to humiliate a Sigma male, you expect an emotional crack, maybe anger, defense, or even embarrassment. But instead, he responds with something far more unsettling, stillness. He doesn't argue. He doesn't retaliate. He simply holds up a psychological mirror. No words. No reaction. Just silence so sharp it cuts through the noise. And in that silence, your insult begins to echo, not toward him, but back toward you. Because the Sigma male understands a deep truth, insults reveal far more about the one who throws them than the one who receives them. So he lets your words hang in the air, raw, awkward, and slowly unraveling. You expected to knock him off balance. Instead, you exposed yourself. He won't try to win the moment. He lets time expose the weakness behind your jab. Eventually, you'll be the one questioning why you said it, what it meant, and why it fell flat. That's the power of the Sigma's mirror effect. You aim to embarrass him. But now you feel exposed. And he didn't even lift a finger. Number 6, he switches off emotion like a machine. Most people, when insulted, react on autopilot. Their emotions flare. Their ego jumps to the front. You see it in their eyes, their tone, their body language, everything screams reaction. But the Sigma male? He doesn't flare up. He shuts down. Not out of weakness, but with surgical precision. It's like watching a switch flip in real time, emotion deactivated. No raised voice. No clenched fists. No twitch of the face. Just eerie, impenetrable calm. And that's where the real power begins. While others drown in emotional chaos, he remains still, calculating, decoding, observing. You might think you've rattled him, but in truth, he's already analyzing the bigger picture. He's 3 moves ahead, mapping out what this moment reveals about you, not him. What makes it so disturbing is how unnatural it feels. You expect fire. Instead, you get ice. And that lack of response, that unreadable silence, starts to unnerve the loudest person in the room. It disrupts the entire power dynamic. The Sigma's emotional stillness isn't detachment. It's dominance. He doesn't fake composure. He is composed. Because to him, control always outranks reaction. And when you throw fire at someone who doesn't even flinch, you're left questioning if your fire had any heat at all. Number 7, he stores the insult in his mental archive of justice. When someone insults a Sigma male, they usually walk away thinking he let it slide. That he didn't notice. That he didn't care. But what they fail to realize is this: while he said nothing, he recorded everything. Every word. Every tone. Every smug little smirk. It's all mentally filed away in a private archive that he never speaks of, but never forgets. He won't confront you. He won't warn you. He won't lower himself into a petty back and forth. He simply files it under what you might call his unspoken justice system. The Sigma male doesn't chase revenge. That's for people who need external validation or closure. He lets time handle the reckoning. But don't mistake his silence for forgiveness. He hasn't forgotten. He's just unwilling to play your emotional games. While you're busy thinking it's over, he's already calculated what that insult reveals about your character, and exactly where that path is going to lead. Here's what he knows: people who insult from a place of arrogance, insecurity, or jealousy always implode. It's inevitable. So, he doesn't have to strike back. He just watches. And when the collapse comes, as it always does, he won't be around to witness it. But you'll feel his absence. Trust me, you will. By then, you'll be locked out of his life, downgraded in silence. He won't drag your name through the mud. That's beneath him. He prefers a quieter retribution. He lets your actions expose you. While you remain stuck in the echo of a moment you thought he missed, he's already moved on, leveled up. That's the power of the Sigma male. He doesn't need revenge. He honors justice. And when it comes, it's not loud. It's not messy. It's surgical. It's silent. It's done from heights you'll never reach again. Because the moment you disrespected him, you disqualified yourself from ever being part of his future. Number 8, he treats the insult like data, not damage. When someone insults a Sigma male, it doesn't land the way they think it will. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't rage. And he definitely doesn't feel wounded. What he feels is curious. To him, your insult isn't a punch, it's a puzzle. A psychological clue. A leak in your armor. He doesn't absorb the negativity, he analyzes it. Why did you say that? What insecurity triggered it? What internal flaw are you projecting onto him? He doesn't personalize the insult. He decodes it. Because a Sigma male understands something most people don't: every unprovoked attack is a reflection, not a reaction. You're not hurting him. You're revealing yourself. And he sees it instantly. While others waste time asking, how could they say that about me? The Sigma asks, what does this expose about them? He shifts the frame. He's not the center of your insult, you are. Because only people who feel threatened try to strike those who haven't touched them. So while you think you're attacking his identity, what you're really doing is handing him insight. He doesn't get defensive because he's anchored in who he is. Your insult doesn't rewrite his worth. It simply reveals your weakness. To most, an insult is an emotional bruise. To a Sigma male, it's a diagnostic report. While you believe you've delivered a blow, he's already profiling your psyche, assessing your stability, and silently removing you from any space of influence in his world. That's what makes him dangerous. Because when someone turns your insult into insight, you haven't hurt them. You've given them leverage. And they'll use it, with surgical precision, and no warning at all. Number 9, he timestamps the insult and files it away, with precision. When someone hurls an insult at a Sigma male, it may appear to bounce off without effect. No flare of emotion, no heated response, no defensive comeback. But make no mistake, beneath that calm surface, a precise internal process is unfolding. The Sigma male is a master of mental archiving. He captures the insult like a high-resolution snapshot, timestamped, analyzed, and stored. He notes the exact moment, what was said, how it was said, the body language, eye contact, surrounding context, even who was watching. Like a flight data recorder, he tracks the event with surgical accuracy. But here's where it becomes chillingly effective: he does nothing, in the moment. Why? Because the Sigma isn't ruled by emotional impulse. He's ruled by strategic awareness. He doesn't need to react, he needs to understand. And time is his preferred weapon. Instead of confronting you, he steps back. Not out of fear, but to watch how you operate when you think he's unbothered. Your next moves become a series of micro-tests. Do you double down? Pretend nothing happened? Shift blame? Laugh it off? Whatever it is, you're now under silent observation. To outsiders, his silence looks like forgiveness. But it's not. It's recalibration. That insult didn't just pass, it became a permanent marker. In his mental database, you now carry a tag, watch closely. Trust minimally. And what happens next is not revenge, it's distance. The warm access you once had begins to erode. Invitations fade. Conversations shorten. Trust dissolves. You get less of him, and eventually, none of him. And when life inevitably turns and you find yourself seeking his wisdom, his strength, or his presence, he'll be gone. Not with anger, not with vengeance, but with cold, quiet certainty. Because for the Sigma, justice doesn't come in the form of confrontation. It comes through timing, detachment, and disappearance. Number 10, he instantly devalues your presence, without warning or drama. People often insult a Sigma male expecting the usual, a heated exchange, a prideful defense, a verbal sparring match. But what they get is far more unnerving, total indifference. The moment you cross the line with disrespect, your perceived value to him doesn't diminish gradually, it flatlines. Instantly. To the Sigma, words are currency. And if your words reveal envy, pettiness, or malice, you've exposed yourself as unworthy of his energy. He doesn't fight to restore a bond you were careless enough to break. He simply cuts the cord. You're not viewed as a threat. You're not worth strategizing against. You're simply removed, from relevance, from access, from his inner circle. And here's the brutal part, you won't even see it happen. He won't announce his departure. He won't explain what you did wrong. He'll simply disappear, physically, emotionally, energetically. And when you try to reach out, reconnect, or justify your actions, you'll find yourself talking to a void. The Sigma doesn't need to block you. You've already been blocked, from his attention, his trust, his regard. There are no arguments. No closure. Just silence. Because in his world, disrespect is not a conflict, it's a disqualification. And once you're disqualified, there's no appeal process. Number 11, he studies the weakness behind the insult. While most people react to insults with emotion, the Sigma male analyzes them like a surgeon. He's not thinking, how dare you? He's thinking, why did you? He's not scanning for offense. He's scanning for the fracture. Because every insult reveals something: jealousy, insecurity, fear. Your attempt to hurt him accidentally gives him insight. He doesn't fire back. He collects data. That one jab told him exactly where your self-image cracks. And while he may never use it, he stores it. Because when the moment comes, he knows where to strike, and he'll do it with precision, not emotion. That's what makes him dangerous. You thought you were attacking. You were revealing. And now he knows. The Sigma doesn't need to bark. He needs only to understand. And once he does, you can't hurt him. You can only expose yourself further. Number 12, he treats disrespect like a virus, and isolates you on sight. The Sigma male doesn't argue about disrespect. He quarantines it. No yelling. No scenes. Just total, silent removal. He sees disrespect as contamination, a toxic leak that can infect the calm, focused life he's built. And he protects that space like a system firewall. The moment you cross the line, you're gone. Not later. Now. No explanation. No closure. Just silence. Conversations stop. Access ends. You're cut off not in anger, but in clarity. You showed him who you are, and he responded with distance, not drama. He doesn't exile you to hurt you. He does it to preserve peace. And once you're out, you're out. Not because he's unforgiving, but because once trust is broken, rebuilding it is pointless in his world. By the time you notice the door's been shut, it's locked, and he's moved on. He doesn't punish. He upgrades. He doesn't fight back. He evolves. And the insult you thought gave you power? It only confirmed your irrelevance. Final thoughts. When it comes to handling insults, most people react with fire, defensiveness, ego, retaliation. But the Sigma male plays a different game. He doesn't fight fire with fire. He starves it of oxygen. For the Sigma, an insult is never just about the words, it's about what those words reveal. He sees it all as data. Signals. Tells. And instead of letting it destabilize him, he converts it into awareness. In doing so, he flips the power dynamic. While the average person bleeds energy from being insulted, the Sigma absorbs energy by understanding it. He doesn't chase revenge because he doesn't need to. He doesn't waste time trying to prove someone wrong. That would mean stooping to a level beneath him. Instead, he lets nature run its course. Because he knows something most people never figure out. Those who insult others out of pride, jealousy, or insecurity are already living in silent collapse. Sigma males don't react, they redirect. They observe. They adjust. And when necessary, they disappear. Not to be cruel, but to protect their peace. Disrespect doesn't ignite them, it disqualifies you. They don't just walk away, they upgrade their path and make sure it no longer crosses yours. And perhaps the most haunting part is this: you may never hear from the Sigma male again. But long after he's gone, long after you think you've won, his silence will echo. Not with hatred, not with revenge, but with clarity. You'll realize he saw through you, logged your insult, and then calmly exited your story. No confrontation. No explanation. Just elevation. So next time you think a Sigma male didn't notice your disrespect, think again. He noticed. He analyzed. And he made the silent decision to leave you behind. That's not weakness. That's not avoidance. That's power, in its most refined form.